Before we dive in, if this is your first video, my goal with this channel is to help lifters understand they don't have to listen to bodybuilding BS to see results. I simplify fitness and nutrition, and I've helped thousands over the years, and I can help you as well. So let's start with my lifting schedule. Most of you already know what I'm going to say, but repetition isn't a bad thing because we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. And for every time I talk about simplicity, 10,000 or more pieces of content get pumped out by influencers making fitness more complicated than it needs to be. So here's what I do. I lift 3 days a week. Most weeks, that's going to be Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, following a push legs pull split. And on my off days, I just try to be active in some way because I get asked often about like what cardio do I do? Honestly, I either walk, I do manual labor around my house, so do like house projects, I go surfing or skateboarding, and walks really are the secret to getting lean with minimal effort because you don't need to overthink cardio. Just start with walking. And once again, you guys have to remember that I promote simplicity. So a good question to ask at the end of each day is, did I move more than I set today? And in the gym, I have one goal every session, and that is to leave nothing in the tank. I literally go to war with my old self. That means pushing for some kind of progression, which could be more weight, it could be more reps, anything that's going to beat what I did last time, but it's not random though. I track everything in the app I use in my A2J program, but a notebook can work just as fine as well. Progression is always the goal because when you consistently progress, your body is forced to grow. So plant this in your brain. Progression equals growth. Even if I only get one rep on one of my exercises, I still count that workout as a win. Now, what does an actual workout look like? We can use my push day, for example. I start with incline dumbbell bench, machine chest fly or pec deck, seated machine shoulder press or overhead press, lateral raises, and then overhead tricep extensions or a push down. One set each to failure in the 6 to 10 rep range. Some exercises I push to 12 and 15. And yes, just one set. The version of me from a few years ago would have laughed at that and said, this is complete BS. But after 10 plus years of training, I'm focused on simplifying and much more open-minded. I used to lift 7 days a week, literally every single day, doing 20 plus sets per session. And I've come to realize we don't need nearly as much as we've been sold. When you zoom out and actually look at how the body responds to training, the truth is simple. Apply a stress it hasn't experienced before, then recover from it. That's how progress works. If you take one set to brutal failure and leave absolutely nothing in the tank, then why would you need to repeat it again? You've already sent the signal for your body to grow, and Mike Mincer used the metaphor of a light switch. Once you flip the switch on, the lights are on, so why keep flipping it? He believed the same with muscle growth. Once you've stimulated a muscle with complete failure, then why would you keep trying to stimulate more? The truth is, most people aren't truly pushing themselves, so they end up doing 5 mediocre sets that collectively equal the intensity of one truly hard set. And maybe this is sounding like bro science to some of you guys, but it makes complete sense to me. So I've already hammered the point home about progression, but what does that actually look like? Just use this simple progression method that I promote. And if you're not doing one set to failure, start with 3 sets of 8 reps for each exercise. For example, depends on the exercise, but sometimes I might start with 6. Week 1 could look like 3 by 8. Week 2, you could try 3 by 9. And then week 3, you could go for 3 by 10. If you can't get all 3 sets for 10, then try again next week and only increase when all sets hit the target. And once you reach 3 by 10 or 12 or whatever your top end is, increase the weight by 5 pounds or maybe 2 kg, and then drop back to 3 by 8 or 3 by 6 and start climbing again. Brutally simple. Remember, we're focused on getting jacked for everyday life on this channel, not to step on a bodybuilding stage or compete in powerlifting or maximize every ounce of muscle possible. And I talked through my push day, and you might be thinking, what about legs and pull days? It's the same concept. Pick somewhere between 4 to 5 exercises that align with your goals and run the same progression system. And if your goal is like mine to get lean and jacked and you're looking for a step-by-step program, then check out my A2J system. It works no matter your starting point, so if you're really skinny or you're really overweight or you're kind of in the middle and skinny fat. It also works for home gym setups, dumbbell only setups, obviously commercial gym setups as well, but I've basically built out numerous routines to try to cover everyone's equipment level and experience level. So when I was brainstorming this video idea, I searched something like total volume for hypertrophy on YouTube, and then I clicked on a video from a well-known fitness expert, and he talked about a recent meta-analysis, basically where they review tons of researchers' findings, and the conclusion of the study was somewhere between 4 and 40 sets a week. Like, really, think about that, guys. We've been researching lifting for almost 100 years, and we're that far off still. Like, people will question the one set to failure or the 20 sets per week, and everyone's kind of got their own approach. But researchers are still finding 4 through 40 sets a week. Also, the 40 sets had severe diminishing returns, plus the negative effects of destroying your joints for 0.0001% more gains. So, what is the takeaway of all this? I'm not necessarily telling you to start doing one set, but I did build it with much less than 99% of lifters, and I'm starting to think that I could have got away with even less. And if you're a beginner, don't copy me yet. Do what actually works to build your base. So do what got me here, not what I'm actually doing now. And that's going to be somewhere around 10 to 12 sets per muscle group per week if you're using a moderate intensity. And then you could think 1 to 3 reps left in the tank. And this one set to failure method is literally just an experiment for me. I'm sharing it to show you that most guys can get results doing way less than they think. If you ever stop doing endless pump work and actually push yourself, you'll get it. You don't need 20 plus sets a week per muscle. You don't need 6 lifting days a week or 7. You don't need complicated progression models, and you don't need complexity to grow. You need a simple plan that you can actually follow. So to recap, I train 3 days a week. I aim to be active in some way every day. I track my lifts and aim to beat my previous version. I keep the main goal, which is progression. I've now given you the what and the why, but only you can do the work. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.